Okay, let's start our webinar. I'm very happy today. We have a nice webinar in English mostly, and then in Portuguese. I will introduce myself in Portuguese. Olá, tudo bem? A UTC América Latina, mais uma vez, está promovendo um webinar com empresas importantíssimas e de grande interesse para o setor de utilities no Brasil e em toda a América Latina. Eu gostaria de lembrar de manutenção preditiva não é uma ideia nova, mas ela depende de tecnologias novas. E trazendo aqui as palestras das empresas do Canadá, especificamente da província de Québec, é um prazer, pois essas tecnologias e as experiências foram vistas na Hydro-Québec, que é uma empresa que lidera muito a inovação no setor das empresas elétricas. A Hydro-Québec sempre foi Eu trabalhei mais de 30 anos em Furnas, centrais elétricas, é uma empresa da Eletrobras, e a Hydro-Québec sempre foi uma fonte de inspiração para as empresas de geração e transmissão aqui no Brasil. Ela sempre trouxe inovações, tem um centro de inovações e trabalha muito próximo às empresas inovadoras. Nós teremos hoje uma apresentação muito interessante. Teremos aqui, obviamente, as palavras dos representantes do governo do Canadá, tanto o governo do Canadá vindo do consulado do Canadá, quanto do escritório comercial da província de Québec. Teremos um diretor da Hydro-Québec, Patrick Jude. Teremos representantes das empresas inovadoras que trabalham com a Hydro-Québec e que vão demonstrar os seus cases, que é a Positron, Ndp e Zensol. Muito bem. Só para informação adicional a vocês, eu gostaria muito de pedir a todos que colocassem as suas perguntas, tanto no chat ou em perguntas e respostas. Ao final de todas as apresentações, eu estarei lendo essas perguntas para os nossos apresentadores e eles tentarão respondê-las. Caso o tempo não seja suficiente ou as perguntas vierem depois, podem ser encaminhadas para o UTC América Latina e nós encaminharemos para os apresentadores. Informação adicional é que este webinar será gravado e a gravação será disponibilizada para todos, okay? No site da UTC América Latina. Então, agora, sem mais delongas, eu queria passar... a cada apresentador, eu vou dar um breve currículo, menos os brasileiros, que eu vou deixar eles se apresentarem. Primeiro, nós ouviremos a Laura Neto, que é do Consulado do Canadá do Rio de Janeiro. Por favor, Laura.
Obrigada, Dimitri, pela apresentação. Meu nome é Laura Neto, como disse o Dimitri, eu trabalho no Consulado do Canadá do Rio de Janeiro. Sou responsável pela interação entre Brasil e Canadá, em promover essa interação maior no setor de energia, né? E eu queria agradecer ao Dimitri e também ao governo de Québec pela parceria, né, para a organização desse webinar. Eu acho essa troca sempre muito importante, né, para o governo do Canadá. Eu acho que a gente sempre aprende alguma coisa. Eu queria aproveitar para pedir aí às empresas brasileiras que acho que é uma oportunidade muito boa, a gente organiza outras atividades aqui no Brasil e também no Canadá, né? Então, queria pedir aí, vocês entrassem em contato comigo, se tivessem alguma oportunidade no Brasil, alguma demanda, né, para que a gente possa facilitar esses contatos que são sempre muito produtivos. Acho que, no mínimo, a gente aprende alguma coisa, né? Bom, eu vou falar um pouquinho assim sobre a nossa presença rapidamente, para não tomar muito tempo. Eu trabalho no Consulado do Canadá, no Rio de Janeiro. Eu sou parte de um grupo chamado Trade Commissioner Service. Acho que o Março, ele está com a minha apresentação, se puder mudar para o próximo slide, Março, por favor. Obrigada. Esse departamento faz parte do Ministério das Relações Exteriores do Governo Federal do Canadá, né? O objetivo é apoiar empresas canadenses na expansão internacional deles, né? Nós temos diversos escritórios, né, no mundo, são mais de 60 cidades pelo mundo, onde a gente tem embaixadas e consulados, né? Aqui no Brasil, nós temos uma organização setorial, portanto, apesar de estar no Consulado do Rio de Janeiro, eu sou responsável pelas relações no setor de energia para todo o Brasil, né? A gente procura promover essa interação maior, organizando missões, eventos, atividades que possam proporcionar contatos mais frequentes entre as empresas do Brasil e do Canadá. A gente, além da gente fazer esse mapeamento, divulgação das áreas de interesse aqui no Brasil, lá no Canadá, a gente também financia projetos de empresas canadenses que tenham interesse aqui no Brasil, né? Nós temos também um órgão chamado EDC, que é a Export Development Canada, que inclusive pode financiar também empresas brasileiras, né, que utilizem tecnologias, que tenham alguma conexão com empresas canadenses, né? E o nosso objetivo é sempre esse, né? Identificar oportunidades aqui no Brasil onde as empresas canadenses possam atuar e também promover convênios, acordos de inovação, P&D, também está dentro aí das nossas responsabilidades. Pode mudar, por favor, para a próxima. Bom, aqui é um pouquinho da nossa presença. A gente tem um consulado maior em São Paulo, onde, inclusive, a parte de vistos fica localizada, e temos um consulado geral também no Rio de Janeiro, a embaixada em Brasília e 3 escritórios no Brasil comerciais, um em Belo Horizonte, um em Porto Alegre e outro em Recife. Próximo, por favor. Bom, falando um pouquinho sobre essa atividade, eu queria chamar a atenção de que a gente está tendo esse webinário hoje, e a nossa intenção é falar com as empresas brasileiras que se inscreveram nesse webinário, depois das apresentações, para ver o que se gostaram, quais são as empresas de interesse, se é que há algum interesse, né, para a gente tentar fazer uma aproximação mais individual. A nossa intenção é agendar encontros individuais no mês de abril, nessa área de manutenção, tá? Então, com isso, eu agradeço aí, deixo o meu contato no próximo slide, se você puder mudar, Márcio. Tem o meu contato, quem quiser falar com a gente, está aí meu e-mail e meu telefone. Muito obrigada.
Bom, o nosso segundo orador será Luiz Antonini, que é assessor de assuntos econômicos do escritório de Québec, na cidade de São Paulo. Luiz Antonini, por favor.
Acho que o Luiz tem um problema com a conexão, então vou apresentar para ele. Então, me chamo Olivia Dion, sou do Investissement Québec Internacional e trabalho com meu colega Luiz Antonini, que está trabalhando no escritório do Québec em São Paulo. O escritório do Québec em São Paulo ajuda com a promoção do interesse do Québec e de suas empresas no Brasil. É a porta de entrada para fazer negócios com empresas do Québec. E ajudamos com o setor energético é uma colaboração natural entre o Quebec e o Brasil. Então, se tem perguntas para fazer negócios com as empresas quebequenses, pode entrar em contato com meu colega Luiz Antonini, que é o Economic Affairs Officer ao escritório do Quebec em São Paulo. Vai ser um prazer de trabalhar com vocês. Obrigada.
Obrigado, Olivia. Só quero esclarecer que nós vamos distribuir para todos os participantes a apresentação do Luiz, que são 2 ou 3 slides, e que tem o e-mail dele, e vocês poderão entrar em contato se assim desejarem. Obrigado, Olivia, pelo seu belo português. Vamos passar para o lado em inglês agora. Vamos chamar a Hydro-Québec, o Patrick Judge, diretor de Business Development e New Solutions. Patrick is in charge. Bom, vou falar em português que é melhor. O Patrick é responsável pela avaliação e coordenação da estratégia de comercialização das inovações de Hydro-Québec. A Hydro-Québec tem um laboratório de pesquisa e desenvolvimento conhecido no mundo inteiro. E Patrick trabalha há 15 anos na Hydro-Québec e, por 4 anos agora, ele está liderando a área de Business Development na inovação de geração, transmissão e distribuição. Por favor, seja bem-vindo, Patrick. It's up to you now.
Thank you. Can you hear me well? You can hear me well? Thank you very much. I will share my screen. Let me know if you see.
Yeah, we see.
Okay.
Fine.
I'll put it besides the...
If you can go to full screen, it's better.
Yes, I will. That's why I'm... This is good?
Great.
Excellent. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for the warm introduction. Patrick Judge from Hydro-Québec. I want to this morning briefly talk about what we are doing in the predictive maintenance field. So if you all take about 10 minutes of your time to introduce Hydro-Québec in a broader spectrum, and then go into what specifically we are doing as a project to integrate, moving from, I would say, conditional-based maintenance to predictive maintenance. So our mission at the generation division is obviously to we generate electricity for the Quebec and neighboring markets. Basically, we're the sole supplier of electrons in Quebec, and we sell to neighboring markets in the Northeast. On the asset side, just on the generation side, we have roughly about $32 billion of assets, an installed capacity of 37 gigawatts, 681 dams, 62 generating stations, 28 reservoirs throughout Quebec, mostly in the northern region, and about we manage 2,600 kilometers of roads. We produce roughly about 50% of all the hydroelectricity generated in Canada. So it's basically our business is strictly hydroelectricity. So sometimes we'll have questions about coal, nuclear, natural gas. We have none of these assets under our portfolio. We have one peaker plant, which is natural gas, which we seldom use. And yes, we buy 4 gigawatts of wind from independent power producers in Quebec. So we are a vertically integrated utility. So we generate, we transmit, and we distribute. I'm not going to go into the first block that I shared already. We have in transmission line, we're 735, 500, 315 kV lines, roughly 35,000 kilometers. And we have 15 interconnections from Ontario and 12 with the US. And we have roughly about 1,100 projects per year. Distribution, obviously, distribution solely in the Hydro-Quebec, in the Quebec region, which is where we distribute. For some of you might know that we have a very large research institute that is in 3 areas. We do research in generation, transmission, and distribution. We do testing, and we also have distribution research center for basically everything that's residential in Quebec. And we also have our center of excellence on the storage side, where we do a lot of research and development on the storage lithium ion batteries. At that area, we can do micro fabrication of all these batteries, but basically we have a royalty model where we license our recipes to Asian markets for the manufacturing of these cells. Just the research is a pretty big team that we have, about 500 people working there, more than 1,100 patents, and we spend about $130 million in R&D specifically for Hydro-Québec on a yearly basis. So we spoke about the R&D element. We are participating as a state-owned utility in helping the transition in six sectors for the energy transmission: in construction, mobility, energy efficiency, my apologies, energy efficiency, energy storage, energy integration of energy, and AI on everything that's either for generation, transmission, and distribution. I won't go into detail. That's a specific presentation, and if ever some have questions to see what we're specifically doing in each of those boxes, it would be my pleasure to entertain you on those topics. But today, I specifically want to talk about a project which is called CAMP, C-A-M-P, that we're leading at the generation division to move from conditional to predictive maintenance. So what is that project? Well, in CAMP in French means the Centre d'Analyse et de Maintenance Prévisionnelle, so Center of Analysis for Predictive Maintenance. So I'll entertain you through 3 points. I'll tell you what it is, that it's a cost-effective project, and we have a common vision. We have in the coming years, there's a lot of assets, aging, and we need maintenance is extremely expensive for any large utility in the hydroelectric sector, and we need to be smarter on that front. And this project is probably taking a lot of silos that we have within the generation group and putting them all together to have one common vision of how we will be coordinating, analyzing the data to organize our maintenance. So we're kind of centralizing the brains of the analysis and everything, and we'll decentralize, obviously, the predictive maintenance. So the execution will be decentralized, but the analysis will be centralized, which is basically a big change to what we were 5 or 6 years ago, because all divisions had their independent way of doing stuff. So what's our vision? We're using AI at our generating stations. We want to move from, clearly we're past reactive. We are past planned. We are now on the conditional front, and depending on what age of the plant you have and how it is equipped with sensors, I would say on the radius on the conditional, we're either at the very early stage or very late stage, depending on the plant. And the objective of this project is to take a lot of data and to move from on a predictive size based on real-time analysis. Well, this is the money slide. If there's one slide you guys need to remember, it's probably, it clearly sums up what we are doing. On the left, you'll see all the dams and spillways that are equipped with sensors and maintenance data. You'll see the generating units that also have the sensors and your operational data, the auxiliary systems, that will feed a lot of those algorithms and create our digital twins, and the infrastructure behind it. So basically, it's from the sensor to the AI level. I'll flip it this way: the sensor to the AI levels. This is what we aim to integrate. And at Hydro-Québec, we have a lot of legacy systems. A lot have been, being done by hand. I actually used to manage the software development group for the generation side, so I could see a lot of very interesting data, but spread out through about 140 applications, strategic ones. So our state-of-the-art monitoring centers, the group will create, that will have all this data, will allow to have collaborate with operations and assessment teams to prevent failures on site, optimize the maintenance strategy in the value chain, provide tools, to the team on site to allow diagnostics and asset management, and obviously supply reliable data to the technical teams to help them work on. So basically that center is it's the big IT project, what it's going to be, in a lot of change management to centralize that information. And this is the trend we're moving for our individuals. These are examples. Can everybody still hear me now? Everybody's on mute, so I will cross my fingers.
Yeah,
excellent.
We are okay.
Okay. This is kind of the integration interface we're trying to get, depending on the layers of data we want to have. You can see on the left some of these analysis of real-time performance of some of the sensors, where we'll have, for obviously, the average expected and the standard deviations allowed for every asset. On the front here, you'll have, for example, this is the Ménic barrage. This is the only type of dam that we have in Quebec, which is all concrete. The rest is a different technology that we use. But basically, those are a few examples that we want to provide at the strategic level, at the camp, on the camp team, to allow it to better decide. It is a profitable project, and if done well and with a lot of change management, because let's not underestimate the power of resistance to change. This is basically taking a lot of information from plants and throughout and centralizing it. So we are taking, relieving some of those controlling and centralizing that power. And if done well with proper change management, what you see in front of you is basically the benefits we can have. Control maintenance deficit. Maintenance are extremely costly. Just to set up the group for maintenance, anybody who's in that business knows that just to prepare a group for maintenance is extremely costly. Basically, make better investments, spend the money where really it is required. We're spending roughly close to $500 million a year in maintenance. Do we really need it? Where do we specifically need it? So eliminate systematic maintenance tasks, reduce losses, obviously, by default, increase asset reliability, reduce power outages through the use of AI, and extend service life. And obviously all this with the security layer allow improve asset security and risk management on the IT level and at the infrastructure physical level. I'm not going to go through all these optimizations that we see in this project, but basically if there's one big project we're doing on the IT front for the generation, that is the project we're working on, which will integrate obviously whatever we're working on for digital twins, but the AI layer will be the key for us. Obviously, again, I've shared the benefits here, so I'm not going through them again. And the common vision for us is to create a monitoring community, remote maintenance and monitoring of IT infrastructure. So basically, when I talk about decentralizing, is having access at the Montreal level, whatever is the 1,200 kilometers up north, we can have it in real time. So working with the research center to allow work on prognostics, the digital twins, the imaging, and the AI layer. And we're partnering with Mila also, which is a Montreal Institute, to help us with the algorithm being developed. So it's a big project. It's going to span within 2 or 3 years, I think. But I think it's going to be a game changer for Hydro-Quebec. And the conclusion, well, so far the project is going well. We have a very strong company-wide synergy, and this is driven at the CEO level. And we have very good collaboration with the engineering and maintenance staff. So basically, it is make or break for us on this success, is having everybody on board. And so far, this is what we're seeing. I think that's pretty much all I had. And I hope I respected the time allotted to me.
You did, Patrick. Thank you very much. It's
super.
Good presentation. I have already some questions for you.
Oh, well, good.
Ok. Agora nós vamos passar para o segundo palestrante. O segundo palestrante é da empresa Radar Tech, que é a representante no Brasil da Positron. é o senhor Walter Carvalho Pereiro. Ele é CEO da Radartec, que representa a Positron. O Pereiro é graduado quase tão dinossauro quanto eu, graduado em Engenharia Elétrica na Universidade de São Paulo, há mais de 40 anos. Trabalhou na construção, no projeto de linhas de distribuição, trabalhou fazendo business planning na Eletropaulo, trabalhou em atividades técnico-comerciais na ABB, Alstom e Watec, e criou em 2016 a Radartec, que representa várias outras empresas que facilitam os serviços das empresas elétricas. Vamos dar as boas-vindas para o Walter Carvalho Pereiro, que vai falar em português.
Eu vou falar em português. Obrigado, Dimitri. Minha ligação com o Québec já remonta a algum tempo atrás, antes da Positron. Entre 2001 e 2011, eu tinha uma outra empresa chamada Vonkel, talvez me conheçam da Vonkel, e a gente representava, na época, a FISO Nortec, que também fica em Québec. Ok? Hoje nós vamos falar sobre a Positron e a importância da integridade das redes e subestações da rede elétrica. Pode passar, Márcio. Bom, não vou falar novidade, que todos os elementos críticos requerem manutenção periódica. No caso da fotografia, aí é um avião, né? Nós estamos cuidando de subestações, linhas, geradores, mas um avião, se não tiver uma boa manutenção, corre o risco de cair lá de cima. É um perigo. Bom, pode passar para outro, que a gente vai ver um exemplo mais real da nossa... já pulou um. Pulou um, Márcio. Depois desse tem um outro. Tá bom, então deixa eu vou falar o seguinte. Bom, um caso recente que todo mundo sabe, que todo mundo acompanhou, foi o desastre da subestação lá no Amapá. Muito em consequência de falta de manutenção. Tá? Aqui nós vamos nos preocupar com os elementos de cadeias de isoladores e buchas, de maneira geral, que temos na subestação. Embaixo nós vemos os 3 berços, que são onde está localizado o sensor e que vai fazer a medição do campo elétrico. Então temos pode passar. Era essa fotografia que eu queria mostrar, pensei que estava antes. É isso que a gente vai pretender evitar. Então, aqueles berços têm sensores que vão medir o campo elétrico na cadeia de isoladores ou na própria bucha da subestação. Ok, pode passar. Quais são as consequências da falta de manutenção, como a gente viu no quadro anterior? Uma perda de receita, perda de energia para os clientes e para alguma outra infraestrutura crítica, danos ao equipamento, né? Eles rompem, os cabos caem, pode haver incêndios, danos à reputação da empresa, eventualmente perda de vidas e bens. No caso de Amapá, não houve perdas de vida, até onde a gente saiba, em consequência desse desastre, mas os bens foram muito prejudicados. Ações judiciais de responsabilidade, parece que tiveram altas multas por conta desse evento. Cobertura de seguro, pode haver perda na cobertura de seguro. E custos altíssimos e imprevisíveis em função do serviço de emergência e restauração. Bom, poderia ser evitado, óbvio que poderia. Existe tecnologia para isso, para detectar defeito em buchas, em isoladores, antes que eles falhem. Tá? Esses defeitos Normalmente a gente identifica como flashovers ou falhas mecânicas ou até o próprio rompimento da linha de transmissão, da linha de transmissão ou distribuição. Pode passar. Pode passar, Márcio. Bom, aqui está o equipamento. Tá? Nessa pontinha meia amarela, a gente vai instalar uma vara não condutiva para fazer a movimentação do berço, ou berço ou trenó deslizante. Essa sonda vai medir o campo elétrico. Ela é feita de ABS e é totalmente isolada da cadeia de isolador ou da bucha que tiver. Ou seja, pode ser feito em linha viva. Ok? E ele vai fazer a medição movendo-se ou deslizando esse berço ao longo da cadeia ou da bucha. Aqui nós vemos na fotografia os técnicos com ele pronto, com a vara de manobra, e deslizando ele ao longo da cadeia. Pode mudar. Bom, aqui é outra imagem do técnico fazendo a varredura. Tá? Existem três tipos de berços. Tá? Um para isoladores poliméricos, um outro específico para cerâmica ou vidro, e um outro que é mais apropriado para fazer ensaios em subestações. E a gente chama de universal. Pode mudar. Bom, aqui nós vemos do lado esquerdo a bucha e a distribuição do campo elétrico. Tá? E ao lado a gente vê o gráfico, onde ele está apontando claramente um defeito no isolador número 8. Há uma queda perceptível, um afundamento perceptível do campo elétrico. Então, ele deve ter tido alguma falha, deve estar vazando. Isso aí foi uma tensão mais baixa na campânula ou no pino do isolador. Pode mudar. Bom, o testador ele pode coletar os dados durante vários dias para depois você fazer um download. Ou a cada varredura que você fizer, você pode instantaneamente ver a condição do isolador. Tá? Você está com um tablet e ele tem uma conectividade Bluetooth de longo alcance que permite você imediatamente já verificar a situação da cadeia de isolador. Tá? A última figura do lado direito mostra um gráfico de um isolador que está em boas condições. Tá? E do lado esquerdo a gente vê novamente o berço e ao centro a tela do software em Windows, onde você vai armazenar os dados e fazer a análise gráfica. Pode continuar, Márcio, por favor. Bom, a ideia é revelar falhas ocultas, ou falhas incipientes, ou falhas muito antes de haver necessidade de troca e tomar as providências em tempo para que não aconteça nenhuma falha no sistema. Tá? Então, em isoladores poliméricos, os defeitos de alta conexão são os tipos mais comuns. Aqui a gente pode ver pelo gráfico um isolador bom e um isolador polimérico com uma situação muito perigosa para os trabalhadores. Tá? Se essa falha continuar se desenvolvendo, ela pode fraturar a cadeia e romper, o que seria extremamente perigoso para quem estivesse na região. Tá? Pode mudar. A gente fez, o ano passado, a Radartec e a Positron, fizemos um seminário aqui, também no Brasil. Várias pessoas se interessaram e ficamos de fazer demonstrações em campo. Não houve possibilidade ainda, porque a Covid, essa pandemia, não nos dá refresco. Então, a gente está pensando em agendar demonstrações aqui no Brasil do equipamento a partir do segundo semestre, onde muita gente já vai estar vacinada e a gente vai ter melhores condições de segurança no campo para todos. Mas, além disso, a Positron oferece treinamento, tanto em sala de aula, que poderia ser feito virtualmente, né? Onde a gente faz uma introdução geral aos isoladores, as detecções de falha usando a distribuição de campo elétrico ao longo do isolador, a medição de campo, uma visão geral de testadores, seja de porcelana, seja porcelana e vidro, polimérico ou universal. O universal, como eu disse, é o berço que vai estar mais apropriado às buchas e equipamentos em subestações. Uma operação detalhada do testador, incluindo o autoteste, ele, na inicialização, a todo dia que você for usar, permite fazer um autoteste para ver as condições do testador, como se faz a transferência de dados, a exibição gráfica e a interpretação de resultados. E cotejar isoladores contaminados contra defeituosos e outras considerações de segurança. E fazemos depois, obviamente, as demonstrações de campo, para deixar o técnico bem à vontade com a manipulação do equipamento em diferentes configurações de torre. Numa torre existem algumas configurações de cadeias de isoladores que precisam ser treinadas, como é o melhor método para dispor do equipamento. Aí faríamos varreduras em alguns isoladores e cadeias. Em subestação também, se for possível, faremos também, se for a necessidade do cliente. Depois, como se baixa os dados em um laptop ou tablet e, obviamente, a interpretação dos resultados. E, mais uma vez, treinamos a equipe de campo nas questões de uso e medidas de segurança, que são super necessárias ao trabalhar com linha viva, em altura, por exemplo. Ok, pode mudar. E eu me despeço agradecendo a oportunidade que a Positron nos oferece, a UTC nos ofereceu, e vai ser disponibilizado para vocês, ou agora, ou mais tarde, os nossos endereços e e-mails para que vocês possam nos questionar e fazer perguntas sobre o produto. Agradecendo, muito obrigado e boa tarde a todos.
Muito obrigado, Walter. Com certeza nós disponibilizaremos os dados aos interessados e também a Laura ou o Luiz terão isso. Vamos agora a outro palestrante. Eu vou me arriscar a falar o nome dele corretamente. Guy Plamondon. I hope this is correct.
Very good. Thank you, Dimitri. Very good.
Guy Plamondon é da Ndp Tech. Ele é vice-presidente de vendas e marketing da Ndp. Guy Plamondon tem mais de 30 anos de experiência em produtos de alta tecnologia, gerenciamento, vendas e marketing e estratégia de novas soluções. Ele também tem praticado bastante partnership ou parcerias internacionais. Be welcome, Guy. It's up to you.
Thank you very much, Dimitri, for the introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just trying now to share my screen. I'm doing compartilhar, huh?
Yep.
But it does not work this time, Dimitri. Let me try. Hold This?
Good. You are in business.
Okay, now
Everything fine.
you have full screen. Thank you very much. Sorry for the inconvenience. So Ndp Technologies, we're proud to present to you today mainly 3 technologies. But first of all, Ndp Technologies, we are a manufacturer of test equipment, test and measurement equipment for the electrical utility market. We do have 5 product lines. We do a lot of partial discharge measurement, we do substation test equipment, cable and phase identification, distribution transformer testers, and micro ohm meters. We have 3 offices, headquartered here in Canada, and our sales strategy is to support local partners in more than 40 different countries. As mentioned, we do research and development, so the technology I'm going to present to you have been designed by us or in partnership with some partners. Manufacturing, we do after sales by supporting our local partners in different countries. So the first innovation today will be this innovative portable partial discharge pinpointing system for power transformers. It's a co-development project with Hydro-Québec Research Institute. The challenge was to discriminate the acoustic discharge patterns among multiple acoustic noises generated by the transformer accessories. So another challenge was to develop a system easy to use by the field people. To do so, we used 4 acoustic channels, and we developed a mathematical technique that we call averaging to remove the noise from the transformer's accessories. Because the noise is random, the partial discharge signals are not. So any of the 4 channel signals can be used to denoise the other. Now the averaging technique. This is an example of acoustic acquisition. So it's an original waveform in which one the PD is hidden. So here we have acquisition of 2 acoustic channels. And the software, what it does, it set a threshold between the noise level and the original waveform peak amplitude. And we take multiple samples and we divide them by each other. So this way we can eliminate what is random and we keep the acoustic signals that are synchronized. So here, after only 4 acquisitions, we can already see on the right, okay, the noise that is that disappears, and we can get out of the noise the acoustic signal we're looking for. The end result, after 1,024 acquisitions, we can clearly see the original waveforms of the PD signal itself. Then a real case here, our 4 acoustic sensors, okay, signal before and after. You can clearly see the way we successfully denoise those signals. Then from those clear signals, now we can calculate the time of arrival. And to do so, we have to consider that the speed of sound is not the same in the oil than it is in the steel, because the first acoustic measurement we receive, okay, will come through the tank wall itself. So it gives us what we call the combined path. And then from there, we can accurately measure the time references, either the absolute and the time difference of arrival. An example of 3D localization, and we can then use this information to transform a drawing, and the engineers then identify the source of the PD itself. a case study, we can see the source of the PD. That was, in this case, a sharp edge. It was a PD activity and generated the gases. Another example here of pointing the transformer that was repaired on site, okay, with minimal downtime and cost, which is the goal. So this is the technology, again, we developed in partnership with Québec Research Institute. We're pretty proud of. The second technology I want to introduce to you today is a partial discharge monitoring system for medium voltage metal clad switchgears. Innovation here is how compact is the device itself and the sensors. We have a dual sensor that measure low and high frequencies generated by the PD. We do have contact and airborne acoustic sensors, and it says plug and play system. Can be easily installed on existing and new switchgears. An example of a sensor installation in a new switchgear is, in this case, we use an acoustic airborne. So it's installed inside of the cable box. We have sensors that can be installed outside, so those are very cost effective for medium voltage installation already in the field. I mean the brown field, where there's no service interruption. We use a Modbus communication, so we can easily chain multiple alarm system together and then send information to a SCADA system using the Modbus protocol. Or we can, for small sites without that are not equipped with SCADA or infrastructure to carry the information, we can use gateways. We have a gateway, and we have a cloud-based application to monitor the substations. So here, an example of the web interface, where we can see the components. This is very user-friendly. It comes with threading and assign readings fields to predefined objects. So it can be configured by the customer itself. Another view of the PDA cloud. So you can zoom on graph, select the period of time you want to check, and the date. So this was the second innovation. And the last one I want to talk to you about today, it's a system phase identification. So why perform phase identification? Of course, the load balancing is very important. Paralleling, rolled transmission circuits, phase mismatch, system mapping, labeling, and of course, smart metering is a very big application, very nice application for it. Here, an overview, the way it works. We install a reference module on a known A phase on the customer's network, and then we use the GPS satellite timestamps, and we send them to a cloud application. The field unit itself has also a built-in GPS antenna to take, again, this timestamps, and when a measurement is performed, we use the serial network, okay, to compare the reading in the field with the reference. Then it gives us the phase angle shift. And multiple measurement field units can be used with one reference, and multiple references can be used also, depending on the network architecture of the customer. The display, we have a unique phaser display, very intuitive with animation. It's customizable, phase attributes, phase name, phase colors, phase rotation. So those parameters are all user configurable. So one phasing system for all applications, from generation to low voltage, in transmission, substation, and distribution. An example of low voltage phasing using test leads or contactless phasing on a meter. So without any contactless measurement and phasing for low voltage. Here's some medium voltage applications, direct contact, red lines, voltage indicator on switch gears, or using capacitive test points on the cable accessories. And for high voltage, we do contactless phasing up to 1,200 kV. So I hope that it helps or to understand a little bit more about Ndp Technologies and what we can do for you. Obrigado.
Thank you, Gui. Thank you very much. I think later we'll have questions.
Thank you.
Now, please receive Mr. Fouad Brixi. Fouad Brixi is the president of Zensol, also a company from province of Québec. De vez em quando eu me esqueço que nós estamos falando em português e inglês e continuo falando em inglês, mas eu vou voltar aqui em português. Fouad Brixi é o presidente da Zensol. Fouad nasceu em Marrakech, em Marrocos. Ele é doutor em Electronics em 1977, também tem Master's Degree em Electronics, todos da Universidade de Bordeaux, na França, onde ele foi professor. Ele foi o primeiro a introduzir o conceito de teste ajudado por computador em ambientes ruidosos dentro das subestações. Isto em 1992. Em 1990, ele criou a companhia dele, Zensol, e que está localizada na cidade de Montreal, Québec. Seja bem-vindo, Fouad. It's up to you now, Fouad. Thank you.
Do you listen to me? Everything is okay?
Yeah, now it's okay.
Okay. So as I told you, my presentation is divided in two. A quick Zensol presentation. So where are we from? Quebec. Who is Zensol? A Canadian company founded in 1990. We are specialized in R&D, production and sale of diagnosis instruments for high voltage apparatus. And we are a successful pioneer of the vibroacoustic diagnosis for tap changers and breakers. We have a strong relation with Hydro-Québec. Who are our clients? Maintenance teams for high voltage transformers and high voltage breakers, and also mining, aluminum company, small service companies, manufacturers of transformers and breakers, lab and universities. Why us? Because of the vibroacoustic expertise on tap changers and breakers. And our instruments are designed to perform in harsh environments. We provide high quality services. We do a lot of effort to do so. We are proudly ISO 9001-2015. What are our products for the transformer diagnosis? We have three kind of products. The Tap 4 Plus. I will give you more details on these products in the next presentation. So we have like a Tap 4 Plus, which is our newest instrument for UTC testing. And we have also for breaker diagnosis three kind of instruments, the same. For reclosers, recloser control diagnosis. And we provide services for breaker and transformer testing, vibration analysis for tap changes and breakers. We do customized maintenance seminars. Here you can see a seminar given a few years before in Curitiba, Brazil. And we provide this service in 3 languages. We have customers in more than 50 countries. Our references, of course, Hydro-Québec, and also some names that I present here quickly. Canadian companies, here in Brazil, some companies, Southeast Asia, China, and Latin America. So here, my presentation for the technology is focused on vibroacoustic method as fast as diagnostic tool on load tap changers. So more than 40 to 50% of failures on transformers come from tap changers and are of mechanical origin. We have the same numbers for the breakers. Vibroacoustic, thanks to vibroacoustic, we can detect many problems online or offline on OLTCs. What are the existing methods to test OLTCs? Here we have a brief comparison. Here you can see the problems, what kind of problems that we can find: timing, controller raise, brake, arcing, overheating. Here you have the methods, diagnostic methods. We have now 5 methods: vibroacoustic, motor, dynamic resistance. And these tables come from CGRE and IEEE. And here you have the efficiency of the methods. And what kind of benefits OLTC vibroacoustic bring to electric utilities? In fact, we can count 14 of them. Here I present the 4 main. Applicable to any kind of tap changers, applicable online or offline, quick, easy, and intuitive test, and with vibration and current combined, we are able to detect a large range of potential problems. I have more here. You have 6. I do like a quick look, and here you have more of them. 4, where what is nice is that it's an excellent tool to help the user to decide which OLTC are due for a maintenance or operation. And all this is our target is to reduce the transformer failures. What is the vibroacoustic principles? It's each operation on load, tap changer produces a specific signature. And with vibroacoustic, which is an accelerometer, and it's exactly like a stethoscope, we pick up this vibration. And what we have noticed is that a stable OLTC shows consistent signatures, and any degradation on the OLTC induces changes in the signature. What we need the tab 4. Here you can see the raw data. This vibration is picked with an accelerometer, the current motor with a EC or DC clamp, and with this raw data, Hydro-Québec that has patented, we calculate what we call the Hydro-Québec envelopes, and this method has been patented by Hydro-Québec in 2001. And why we use the envelopes? Because it simplifies the signal, get the shape of the signal, and we focus only on variable impacts only, easy to analyze, easy to compare. And we have another part, which is to understand the impacts thanks to the envelopes. And here you can have a typical processing done by our software. Here we have the raw data that gives what we call the envelopes, the low frequency, high frequency, and the current. And here, we got an Excel report, and here we can do on-site quick analysis. On the off-site deep analysis, we can get some Excel reports with the envelope again, And we have what we call a diagnostic cards, and we are able to comparison with the Zansol database OLTC references signatures. Here we have some examples where we can see here a where contact against a new contact, and here you can see on vibration on the red, it's you can see a missing impact, and with a new contact you can see in a dark red that the impact is coming back. Another example of where contact here with the before the interversion, we have a 60% difference between the high and low frequencies envelopes, and when we have changed like the contacts, you can see that we have less than 20% of difference between the high and low frequencies. Also, a simple example of a poor lubrication. Here you can see the current very high in this part, which is not normal. What is normal? This part must be flat. So it's, in fact, it's a very quick diagnosis. It's an unusual shape of the motor current envelope. An example also of asynchronism. Here on the left, you can see that the impact means that the transition of the tap changer comes at the end of the current. Sometimes it's dangerous because the current, the tap changer could stay between two taps, and this is not good at all. And here, after repair, you can do, we have done like an adjustment of this impact. We can also detect arcing contacts, and with a simple accelerometer. Here, this is offline and this is online. And when we superpose these two impacts, you can see here that you have an arcing. We can do also trending analysis. We can target some intervention with the values that we calculate, and then we are able to do like to precise lead to an intervention. We can we do also a planification of maintenance based on the values that we get from high frequency and low frequencies, but in doing trending. Here also the same. And now the challenge, the problem when we got only the vibration, you are able to listen, but you are not able to do a correlation of the vibration with what happens in the tap changer. So the challenge is how to facilitate the comprehension of a complex vibroacoustic signature, because several mechanisms are operating at the same time. So one way to address this challenge is to analyze simultaneously the recording of the vibration and what we call the dynamic resistance, DRM, when the tap changer is in action. So what we need the tap 4 plus that you can see here, and the tap DRM, which is the accessory. And in fact, it's here you have an example of connections. And of course, when you do the dynamic, the DRM, your transformer is offline. And here I have, you can see some example of DRM recording. Here, when you move through all the taps, and here you can see like a typical dynamic resistance for the DRM. And here you can see in a video, so this one is going, this is the moving contact, and this one is going to move, and here you can see it here. So typically the association, the correlation is done this way, at step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. Well, and so here you can see dynamic simultaneous testing, and the DRM is here, the vibration is here, and the motor is here. So here you can do the correlation. We have four impacts. So now we are able just to know exactly at this impact comes where. This impact is this impact, the association is easy. And here we have some examples of a recording for different OLTCs were done with Top4 Plus and accessory. So thank you for your time, and so I wait for your questions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Fuad. I would like only to give an additional information that Zensol is represented, has a representative in Brazil that is UTCAL. It's a well-known company here by us from UTCAL. Okay, we have some questions. I have them in different applications. So the first of them is very easy, is people that like to see what's going on in either Quebec, and there is a company here called CPFL that would like to get in touch with Mr. Patrick to see some common discussions about the methodology. And the director of this company, Mr. Malagoli, is asking how was done this evaluation for preventive maintenance, how long it takes to get to break even when the savings and expenditures are equal. So he wants to know about the experience in the maintenance.
I don't have the business case detail on the financials behind it. Clearly, on all our systems come on, they come to end of life, or they need to be refurbished to a certain extent on the software side. Also, we found that the cost of not obtaining data, clear data, was limiting us to knowing that to evaluate to what extent we are really getting the return on investments when we're doing maintenance. The lack of knowledge and basically some information we get from consulting firms that when you get the AI level, when you get to predictive maintenance, when you get to just-in-time maintenance, you clearly have a cost reduction there. And basically, I think that's how we establish that this is moving forward. This is what we need to do. And when you want to centralize that information, when you want to centralize the orders that are given to maintenance, you need to centralize data. So it's kind of a vision where you say we want at the strategic level to get that information and get the orders in. Well, actually, you need to get them all together. And we see the different ways that are the maintenance is planned and done throughout our 2,500 employees. We're not getting the economies of scales that we want. But again, I would like to share some financials behind it, but at this point I don't have them. And to be quite honest, our state-owned company is kind of not used to sharing the financial behind the projects.
Okay, thank you very much. But anyway, people will probably be in touch with you because
my pleasure.
I am looking on some conversation with Laura so she will be doing that.
It'll be my
Okay,
pleasure. My pleasure.
Let's go to some other questions for Zensol. I have
Yes.
two questions here. Does the use of vibroacoustic require training? And other thing is, do you have a reference database of vibroacoustic signatures for different tap changers?
Well, yeah, yes. For the training, the answer is yes. Because the vibration requires some training, and we recommend a minimum of 2 days. Like we have 1 day, like it's like a theory training, and we always associate like a real test, and with this after the people can handle it this technology a little more, because when it's not like the vibration is not like a simple signal that you record and it's easy to interpret. It requires, yes, some training, definitively.
Okay, thank you.
So for the first question, for the second, we have done more than 1,000 tap changer testing, and we have a database of different tap changers that we have collected from different continents: Europe, America, China, and Southeast Asia also. So it's and this helps us to interpret the different vibration recording.
Okay, so this helps certainly to
yes, definitely.
What's going on. Okay, thank you very much. Now I have some questions for Ndp. Ndp. There is a question: is this PD monitoring system can be used on other equipment than medium voltage switch gears?
Yes, of course. It's been designed initially for this application, but we have customers using it in different other applications on medium voltage, especially medium voltage components, but also on high voltage cables in some countries, especially in Europe. On a case-by-case basis, we can adapt the sensors to meet the requirements.
Okay. There is another question. I'm looking who asked it, but anyway, is Hydro-Quebec? It's for Patrick Judge. Is Hydro-Quebec power are probably the Hydro-Quebec power distribution lines mostly overhead or underground? It's a question. Given the maintenance costs concerning power outages, it is already clear that by applying smart sensor and AI, the power outages are of shortest time, and then the quality of service become higher than before. Do you need me to read again?
No. The different sides, most of our lines are overhead lines. We have in the central regions of Montreal, Laval. We have, I think some in Quebec City are underground lines. Obviously, underground has a lot of its advantages, but outages underground creates its number of issues also. We have moved to many smart digital switches also on our distribution network, and we have other software that allows us to, such as Miles, for example, that allows us to establish fault detection and at a very specific area within our distribution network. Our major issue is vegetation management. We have now a new program, and as much as you can have the AI behind every software, a tree is a tree, a branch is a branch. If it touches your line, it creates a fault. So it's now managing the physical assets. And with the climate changes, we find that what would take 10 years to come back, where we would need to send teams to cut the branches, that delay is shorter than it was. We have warmer winter, we have warmer summers also, and we find that what allows us to have a very reliable network is vegetation management. Very big program there.
Okay, thank you. Well, gentlemen, I have not really a last question, but a request for you. UTC América Latina is an association with technology side to it. It's not a distribution association, not transmission, generation association, not investors association, it's technology association. And high-level technology, electronics, telecommunication, automation. We also work with regulation, with regulatory issues in the countries. So if you have white papers or some reports about what you have done or cases that are written, I can only ask you to send it to us, and we will distribute it to our members. And I think we had a great interest. Our maximum here was, it is surprising actually, because we had 92 registered guests. Normally, when it comes to the real thing, we have like 50% or a little bit more, but we had at the peak 78 participants. So it is a very good number. We have lots of interested people. So if you have written material that we can follow your companies, see what's going on, so send it to me, and we will distribute them. And feel free anytime you want to do something in our part of the world. We are here to help you. Thank you very much. And if you want to say some words to the audience, I will open to each one of you. Okay. So, Patrick, you are the first speaker.
Thank you very much for the invitation. We have a long-standing relationship with Brazil, and a lot of the institutions that we've shared some knowledge, and we've done some R&D projects with some universities in Brazil in the past few years. COVID has forced everyone to stay behind their computers, but we look forward to be able to go back to Brazil and to discuss future opportunities with you on the R&D side. A lot of good stuff is being done on the generation side, transmission and distribution side. So we look forward to sharing some of our knowledge and getting some feedback and some knowledge from the Brazilian companies and institutions also. Laura, Dimitri, feel free to share my email with your members and the questions also, and I will make whatever documentation we have publicly available to share them with your members. And so Laura, Dimitri, please feel free to share the information.
Yeah, I would like you all to open your video. I will take a picture of the screen because it will be in my news, UTC Latin America news. I want you all be in this picture, okay?
I'll take my glasses off.
Yeah, good idea. Good looking. Okay. Next one to speak, you two guys from Brazil, you will be speaking later. Okay, Walter Guerreiro.
Sou eu que falo agora ou falo no final?
Não, por favor, vamos...
Tá. Eu gostaria primeiramente de agradecer agradecer ao Consulado de Québec e à Positron por essa oportunidade, aos participantes pela presença. Os meus dados devem ser passados pela Laura, acredito, para quem quiser, e-mail, telefone. E muito obrigado mais uma vez.
Ok, Mr. Gui. You are on mute. Open your mic.
This is the trend today.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time and for the opportunity. Thank you for the audience. Of course, I would prefer to be there locally. I always enjoy visiting.
In August, we plan to have it, but I don't know.
Hopefully soon we're going to be able to travel again and meet with you guys locally and to do some more business in Brazil. I always enjoy visiting Brazil and doing business with people over there. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Clad.
Okay, so thank you to have given us this opportunity to present our technology and our company. So we are in Brazil since so many years, thanks to company UTCAL, which is based in Belo Horizonte, and the famous Jussara Atademo with Renderson. So if you have any needs, so please contact them, or you have my emails. And also, Dimitri, you can share all the presentation that I sent to you with the people that will request it. So
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now let's see our good speaker in Portuguese, Olivia. You want to say goodbye to?
Muito obrigada. Talvez meu colega Luís pode apresentar-se.
Luís.
Sim, claro. Pessoal, rapidamente, deixa eu pedir desculpas pela falha técnica que eu tive no começo do webinar. Tudo que quase são lá.
Continua falhando, Luís.
Evento e de novo colocando o escritório da São o consulado geral também no Rio. Estamos do Québec.
Muito obrigado.
Como a UTC América.
A UTC, obrigado. A UTC América Latina quer agradecer especialmente a Laura Neto e o consulado do Rio de Janeiro, ao cônsul James Kim, que sempre foram muito amigos da UTC América Latina, sempre participaram dos nossos eventos. Obrigado, Laura. Pode se despedir do pessoal.
Obrigada, Dimitri. Obrigada ao escritório de Québec aqui no Brasil e aos apresentadores. Acho que foi ótimo. E se a gente gravou, né, esse webinar, não é isso, Dimitri? As pessoas vão ter acesso ao conteúdo depois também, se alguém tiver perdido, é possível. Ou se alguém quiser entrar em contato comigo, eu estou à disposição para agendar reuniões com as empresas, eu e o pessoal do escritório de Québec, a gente está disponível para isso. E esse ano a gente tem outras atividades, inclusive uma delas focada na área de inteligência artificial. Vamos ver se a gente consegue fazer em parceria, né, Dimitri? De novo, acho que funcionou bem, né? E eu espero que todos tenham gostado e que a gente possa repetir a dose aí com o Canadá. Espero que todo mundo olhe para cima agora e veja um pouquinho além dos Estados Unidos, né? Consiga enxergar o Canadá.
Muito obrigado. Eu estarei bem breve em Vancouver. Ok? Muito obrigado a todos. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.